When you're the second lightest person in your school next to the only white kid at your school, you stand out. And I stood out simply just for being who I was. And I've always had a personality. I've always, drama club, band, choir. I was always involved in everything. But none of those things mattered because I was light skinned with good hair and I thought I was better than everybody. And to this day, I'm like, who did I ever say I was better than? Nobody. All I did was show up being myself.
Who's ready for some girl talk?
Welcome to Girl Talk. I'm Nicole D. Miller, author, blogger, speaker, hybrid book publisher, and your host. At Girl Talk, we are a safe space for female leaders to engage in healing and edifying conversation. This is your Me Too, empathetic corner, where we have authentic and transformative dialogue designed to uplift and connect high-achieving women like you. Are you looking for a safe space to cultivate sisterhood with other like-minded female bosses? Leave your cape at the door and join the conversation. Hi guys, and welcome to Girl Talk 101. I'm your host, Nicole D. Miller. This next episode is our final individual sit-down with panelists from our discussion, Is Colorism Still a Thing? And in case you missed this much-needed healing dialogue, run it back. In this chat, you'll hear from Sam Walker, who shares vulnerably about being bullied and rejected from her peers simply because of her skin tone. Can you relate? And then, following Sam's heartfelt interview is the Q&A we had after our conversation with the panelists. This is a special treat, as we don't normally share that part of our dialogue on the podcast. So, you're welcome. If you'd like to connect with Sam, you can use her contact info shown in the show notes. Now, sit back, relax, grab your favorite beverage, and join the conversation. Hi guys, and welcome to Girl Talk 101. I am your host, Nicole D. Miller. I am so excited to introduce Sam Walks to the Girl Talk space from the Pull-Up Experience. How are you tonight, Sam?
I'm good. It's been a long day, but you know what? I'm here, so I'm not going to complain.
Yes, and we're so grateful to have you here. I'm sure you have a lot to share for our upcoming panel discussion. Is colorism still a thing? Before we get into more of that, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, what makes you go, inspires you, and thrive, all the things?
Well, my name is Samantha. Everybody knows me as Sam. I created my platform, Curvy, Confident, and Nervous, as a blog first in 2016. And I wrote that blog for until 2021 is when I kind of took my fingers off the keyboard and started to open my mouth. So that is when my hosting business started. And I've been hosting now. I'm in my 9th year of event hosting. A lot of people know me from modeling because I was a curvy model for 30 plus years. So since the age of 4, I had been a model on the runway. But as I got older, I started just saying bigger, bigger. It's more than just modeling and being pretty and showing off clothes. Like I wanted to find my voice and who I am now. So I just created my platform. Like one day I just said, people think they know me, but they really don't. So I'm going to start writing. And, I started my blog and then I felt more comfortable to start speaking in public. So I just kind of fell in love with it. And I'm like, here I am almost 10 years in the game. So I'm happy about where I'm at. I'm happy about where I'm going. And the things that keep me motivated is I always want to make sure that I'm honoring myself, that I'm honoring my parents who are no longer with me. So whenever I do anything, I always think back to what my why is. Why am I doing this? And does it align with the things that I want to do? So always keeping that in the back of my mind. I want my parents to be proud of me. That's probably my biggest thing. And make sure I'm doing it in purpose and on purpose.
Love it. I definitely resonate with you starting out as a blogger. I
Mm-hmm.
too began blogging when blogging was hot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was what inspired my first book. So we definitely resonate in that space. I want to know why this topic is intriguing to you and is of interest to you because I had posted it on social media and you responded to the little question when I asked, would you like to hear about colorism on the next Girl Talk? And you were like, girl, yes.
Hmm.
What ignited that response in you?
I want to say, in a way, it kind of triggered me in a way, which is like I want to explore more of that. At this age, I feel like I'm mature enough to have that dialogue. And I also wrote about my experiences with colorism from the time I can remember all the way from elementary school up into adulthood. Because we look at colorism and we usually only see one side of it, but we don't necessarily see the other side of it, if you kind of catch my drift.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to show women of various skin tones and shades because I think typically in our community, it is highlighted more so with darker skinned women and men, but mostly women. But I have lighter friends, so I know that it's not only us. And so I definitely wanted to create this space as an opportunity for healing for everyone,
Yeah,
to value each other's stories. And that's really what Girl Talk does. It is a space for edification, building sisterhood, and healing through dialogue.
yeah,
I'm intrigued by your statement that it triggered you. So, how did it trigger
yeah.
you?
Like I wrote about it because, and then when you started putting out the promo, I was like, oh yeah. And I didn't even tell you this before, but the picture with Tashina Arnold and Tisha Campbell, that's one of the pictures that I had on my blog. That was where part of my ideas came from because I was obsessed with the movie School Days. And
Okay.
I think another thing, it just made me think back to I was watching a lot of different documentaries and things about that movie and things that took place. And they really had to sit in that whole ideal of light skin versus dark skin the entire movie. Like the light skinned girls got better accommodations. They got the hairstylist, the makeup artist, and then the dark skinned ladies, it was kind of like the opposite. So that animosity was premeditated and planned out to make the story feel so real, and it did. And when I saw it, I was just like, yeah, people think I'm European because I like to, wear my hair a certain way or whatever. So, like, when I saw that, I was like, because I'm always telling people, don't refer to me as something that I'm not, because being light skinned, I'm also usually called, I'm a white girl. And I'm like, I am far from it. I'm not white. Like, my parents were black. But because, I'm light skinned and it's been a joke for a long time. And before I was like in my 30s, I just kind of like, okay, whatever. It's funny. Ha ha. But the older I get and the more that I'm on my own spiritual journey and healing journey, I feel like this is one part of me that I need to address and be open and really candid and honest about how those things have made me feel my entire life. And I'm like, what better way to do it than amongst women that I've been able to be in rooms with and we've had dialogue. But I feel like this conversation is long, 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 long overdue. So I was like, yeah, I got to get in there. I'm like, I don't care if Nicole don't ask me to be on panel. I'm going to just keep asking questions until she's like, just come sit up here.
You sound so much like your cousin when you said that right there.
I
But
am sure.
But, thank you for sharing your truth, for your honesty and vulnerability, and 100% being honest on my end. I did not want to do this topic. So I feel like every topic that I choose for Girl Talk is something I've dealt with or I'm going through in my personal journey. And then I bring it to Girl Talk, and everybody's like, me too, me too. And then you hear everybody's stories, and then we're able to get healing that way. But this is such a like sensitive topic for myself, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what am I doing?
Yeah. I mean, but that's all a part of the journey is getting uncomfortable and having those conversations, no matter how uncomfortable they are, because they are. And I've already been in my mind about how this is going to go. Like, I'm a little anxious about it. I'm not going to lie. So I'm just like, what if somebody says this about me? And then I snap and seriously, because it's a thing. It's
this,
very
this is what
sensitive.
I'll say. historically, I do set the tone, right, for this space. I can't control people, but I do instill certain rules. It is a space for safety for all, even if we don't have the same beliefs, life
Yeah.
experiences. I think doing the one with the men was like the biggest test of that because that could have
Man,
really went left, but
it
it did
could
not.
have. Yeah. It
And I know
stayed
some
right where it was
feelings were,
supposed to be.
huh?
I stayed right where it was supposed to be.
Yes. And
Yeah.
so that showed me like, no, like we can create this space. People,
Hmm.
they might whatever, but as the host, I'm definitely gonna reel it in and address it. So
Yeah.
it is a safe space for all. Just so you know that.
Hmm.
But I appreciate your honesty and I want to dig more into your personal story. And you touched on being called a white girl. That was something Brittany shared about. So, what
Hmm.
is your journey and personal experience with colorism?
I felt like it started at home, first of all. Colorism didn't start at school, it started at home. So I am the youngest of five siblings. I'm also the lightest. And so it started off with my cousins making jokes like, "You're not really a part of our family. This white couple dropped you off."
And this is crazy.
Yeah, and I hope my cousin sees this video because he's the one who had it ingrained in my head that I didn't belong to this family. It's a running family joke, but even to this day, it still sits with me, which is like we don't think about those things as kids. Like, because I'm asking my mother, like, am I really a part of this family? And I'm looking at family pictures and I'm like, I don't look like anybody. Like, did y'all really adopt me? Like, tell me the truth. Up until my mom passed away, I said, okay, you can tell me who my real family is now. Seriously. And she was like, girl, please. And I said, I want to know. But, so it started at home with the light skin jokes. You know what I mean? Um, Mostly with my cousins. That's just what kids do, the going back and forth. Um, my mom called me yellow. My uncles called me a pink thing. Like my uncle literally called me you pink thing. And I'm like,
Jesus.
yeah. And those are things that were jokes. You know what I'm saying? But as you get older and those things start to sit with you, it's like, geez, like that's kind of that's rude. That's so mean to tell a little girl like you're just a pink thing. That's what it was. Yeah. And elementary school was really a struggle for me. A lot of people don't know, but I was heavily bullied in elementary school because I was next to the one white kid that went to my school, I was the lightest person in the school.
In the whole
So,
school.
yeah, and when I was growing up, I had really really long hair and I had naturally curly hair. So, it started with she thinks she all of that. She thinks she's better than everybody else and I'm like, all I did was come to school. I got bullied. I got bricks thrown at me walking home. I got my school shoes stolen in the snow. I almost got jumped a couple times. And this is all before middle school. Things kind of slowed down in high school, middle school, high school. Kind of every once in a while there would be a white joke. But again, I'm just taking it as this is normal. This is what we do. This is how we show love to each other. We roast each other and talk about each other. Like that was the norm back then, right? High school, I don't remember, and it's crazy because one thing about trauma is that you will forget a lot of things. And the older I get and the more I tap into, my spiritual gifts and heavily into prayer, I feel like I've pushed a lot of those things, like repressed a lot of memories because I really don't remember a whole lot from high school as far as colorism. The one thing I will say is that I was forced to relax my hair at such a young age. I was 4 years old when my mom started using the straightening comb. Four.
That's
And
crazy.
my hair was naturally curly. All you had to do was wet it and brush it. That was it. But to her standard, my hair looked best when it was straight. It had to be straight. And not just straight, it had to be bone straight. So if your fingers didn't go straight down my hair, my mother was back on the stove, had my aunt, my sister hot combing my hair to death. And I'm just like, what's wrong with, like, because the minute I sweat or any dampness touches my hair, it curls up. And I'm like, but the curls are pretty. But no, it has to be straight. When I started modeling, you know, the day of whatever event, we have to straighten her hair. Like, she cannot wear this curly fro, no, it has to be straight. So I remember the day of my first pageant, like my mom had my aunt straightening my hair for hours and putting all these curls in it. Literally, I want to say after like the first portion of it, my hair was in a ponytail because it's so fine. And then she was just like, oh, hair is ruined. We have to go and re-straighten it again. And I'm just like, good Lord, Even down to my grandmother with is it Royal Crown or Crown? I think it's Royal Crown grease, Blue Magic grease. She piled that grease in my hair and then hot combed it to death until my hair was almost like string. Like, it was so greasy it didn't move. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, these women are so obsessed with my hair being straight. And I don't care about my hair being straight. Like, every school picture day, straight, ponytail, straight, slick. It had to be tame. There was no just letting my curls free. And I actually, the older I got and the more that people started pulling back from relaxers, I started like paying attention to women. I'm on my natural hair journey. I'm doing a big chop. And I'm like, that looks freeing. That looks nice. And my mother's like, no, you have to keep your hair long. You have to. And I had an issue with a sew-in weave. I will never forget it. I think that was like one of my last sew-ins. It was my last sew-in because I had an accident and I had to cut my hair off. So I had this sew-in and I'm taking it out, but it knots up my hair so bad in the middle of my head. It had to be a clump of hair this big. And we couldn't get it detangled. We couldn't get it separated. So my sister had to cut all of my hair. So I had a nice little curly fro. And that was the first time that I had cut that much hair off. Like, I've done cuts before, but my sister, she's like, I just have to cut it off. And I said, well, I guess this is the start of my natural hair journey. And that was, I think, 2015, 2014 or 15. And I said, I like the curls. I like this. It's, I just put a little water on it, a little moisturizer, and I'm feeling it. And my mother's like, no, you need to grow your hair back out or get you another weave and grow it back out. And I'm like, why? I was like, I like my curls. And then when my hair did grow back, like, my curls were everything. And I had stopped doing relaxers. I never did another relaxer before. Obviously, I don't do relaxers now. But cutting my hair made me feel more black. Honestly, because I felt like I didn't have to worry about my texture as much. I didn't have to worry about straightening it or curly or whatever. So now, like, part of my journey was me releasing the feelings that my hair had to be straight. My hair had to be long. It had to be tame. So, like, when I did my chop, I literally, like, just looked at my hair from years of, chemicals and processes and being sick, which people really didn't know that I was sick when I cut my hair, but I cut my hair because I was sick. So, I literally showed my sister a picture of my hair and I said, I can't do this. I'm not going to try to save it. Let's just cut it off. And she said, oh, what, you want a bob? I said, no, cut it all off. So she didn't believe me until I showed up at her house with a pair of clippers. And yeah, so I think a big part of my whole journey with colorism, a big part of that was my hair. Like, I had to be straight all the time. Whether I wanted to or not, I didn't have a say. So I felt like once I cut my hair, that's when I started speaking up about the light skin jokes, the white girl jokes. Because I still hear them now and I absolutely hate it. I hate. Oh, with your white ass. Like, people say that to me all the time. And I'm like, now if I say your black ass, then I'm wrong. So, yeah.
I want to touch on your mom because it's like you were teased for being lighter skinned in your home, or it was looked down on. But clearly her behavior, she's trying to make you look more European. by
Hmm.
straightening your hair.
Yeah, I
So it's
agree.
like the
I
hypocrisy.
agree. And I think a lot of that is generational. I think because she didn't have the best relationship with her mom, and I never met my maternal grandmother, so I really don't know much about their relationship. What I do know about it is that it wasn't the best, and that there was a lot of name calling, kind of, and pointing out flaws. So I feel like that was something that kind of was passed down from her mom to her, and then it landed on me and my sisters. Because there were things said about my sister as well, but because I looked so different than everybody else at the time I was growing up, like I was the eyeball out. Like sometimes I look at my family picture and I'm like, I do not fit in this picture. And I'm asking, like, what am I? And they're like, what do you mean? What are you? You're black. I'm like, am I? Because everybody else seems to think I'm Puerto Rican, Dominican, white. Like, what am I? And yeah.
Similar to what Brittany was saying, which is so shocking to me. And I was sharing with her, first and foremost, my mother's light, my grandmother's light. They were the parents that raised me. So I grew up in a home with light, petite women.
Hmm.
Thankfully, I was affirmed within the home. A lot of my bullying came outside the home. But I
Hmm.
just happened to take after my dad and his side of the family. And I think as Black people, because of our genetic makeup, we just cross so many spectrums of skin tones. I would
Hmm.
never doubt that you were Black. Like never. Like I don't understand why people would
I get
say.
it all the time. Where you like people was I never forget. I want to say 3 years ago, I went to go do a background check for work. I will never forget this a day in my life. I went to this agency to get my background check, and I hand her my ID, and she's putting in my information, and she keeps staring at me like she knows me or something. So I'm looking at her like, "What's up?" And she's like, "What are you?" Just like that. And I said, "A woman."
Jesus.
Like you could have read that on my license. You got it in your hand. But the fact that she had enough balls to ask me, "What am I?" I should have reported her because I'm like, how unprofessional and rude are you?
Very ignorant,
I
yeah.
would never ask anybody, what are they? So, like to this day, I still get asked, what are you mixed with? Like, you have to be something. And I'm like,
Wow. And
yeah.
that's what I was telling Brittany. We're all mixed. Like I took a DNA test. I have Sweden in my blood. Like
Hmm.
that's the reality of it. But it's just about what genes are dominant.
Yeah,
And of course, we have no control over these things that are aesthetics and shallow. And I think what's annoying to me, even hearing your story, which I feel like about my own story, is we're defined by our skin tone or our outer appearance. Like the world
hmm,
already makes this um, assumption about
yeah,
us, and I get so annoyed. Like I never think of myself in terms of my skin tone. That's the irony. I think of
hmm,
myself in terms of my intellect, in terms of my ambition, in terms of my inspiration. Like
yeah.
is but people keep reminding me.
Mm.
And so that is what draws the attention. But I do appreciate you going deep and sharing this flip side of colorism. And I think what I'm seeing, just talking to you and Brittany tonight, is that there is this messaging of you're not black enough.
Hmm.
And I feel like for those of us who are darker, the messaging was you're not light enough, you're not white enough.
Yeah,
And I do think it is a spiritual message from the enemy for us to be divided and discontent and have self hatred, which
for
we'll talk
sure.
about in our larger discussion.
Yeah. You guys will have to be there for that.
It's gonna get deep. We're gonna have the tissues.
Yeah.
We're gonna be ready. But on a note that is a little bit more upbeat for our listeners as we wrap this up, what are some ways that you were able to heal and push through the negative narratives and evolve into self love from your stint with colorism or those negative belief systems you had before?
Feel like the older I get, the more I can look back on some things and say, I wish I could have spoke up for her. I wish that she had the confidence in herself and not let people beat up her self-esteem. Because I struggled with self-esteem for a long time. And part of it was the colorism or the standard of beauty. This is what I'm supposed to look like, but I don't. from my weight to my hair to my skin tone, all of those things were seen as a negative in my household. So I think me doing the spiritual work and really, I forgave my mother because, the things that she was taught and passed down, she passed down to us. So I consider myself like the generational breaker of chains because I'm like, this is no longer accepted. I don't allow anybody to disrespect me. I don't allow people to disrespect the people that are closest to me. And that all came from discovering the love for myself because I didn't always have it. So when I dug deep, and it was after my mom passed, and somebody asked me, I think it was my therapist, and she said, "Do you forgive your mom?" And I had to struggle with that because parts of me didn't, but then parts of me, I had to kind of do a whole nother level of therapy to get all the way to the root of where it came from. So I forgave her, and I felt like that freed me. That I forgave my mom. We're supposed to be on a light note right now, but it's a thing. Generational things that we pass down, they're real and they're deeply rooted. So that definitely helped in my journey and just discovering my voice because I was a model for so long. I literally had somebody say, "Oh, I didn't know you could talk publicly." I'm like, yeah, like check me out. Like I can do anything that I want to. It's just now that I'm choosing to be this version of myself now. So it's always interesting when people are like, "I didn't know, oh, you speak so well." I'm like, I went to school for a whole communications degree and studied music, journalism and communications. But I was like, okay, cool. So I think really finding my voice and the people I surround myself with, being friends and having people close to me that I would never worry about any of them calling me white or saying you not a nigga, because I used to hear that so much, especially when I did my natural hair journey and I was on this very I'm not gonna say I was woke, but I was woke, and people were like, "Girl, what are you going through?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm just going where the spirit leads me right now. I'm on a journey. Just let me figure it out, okay?" Because baby, I was rocking the onks. I had the fro, my black power, and I feel like a part of that was because people doubted my or challenged my blackness so much that I felt like I had to perpetuate this thing so that other narrative could die. I don't know if it worked or not because I've been black my whole life. Okay, I'm beige, baby, but I've been black. Okay, being black.
Well, we look forward to hearing more about your journey of finding your voice, of self love. I love that you touched on forgiveness. That's definitely a key to healing in so many areas. And for our audience, where can they find you, follow you, social media, website, all the things?
Well, my website is www.curvycn.com. On Instagram, you can find me at curvy_underscore confident and the number one. You can also find me Samantha Walker on Facebook or Curvy Confident on Facebook as well. And TikTok, your favorite host 216. I'm everywhere, y'all. Find me somewhere.
I love it. And you're also a co host for the Pull Up Experience. All
Yes,
women
ma'am.
of color are going to be featured on the next conversation. Is colorism still a thing? And we look forward to hearing more from you, Sam, on October 19th from 6 to 9 p.m. at Ink Therapy Studio.
I'm going to need some ink therapy after this conversation. Hook me up, cousin.
All right, you guys, definitely tune in and we will talk to you soon.
I was very envious of dark skinned women. And I know a lot of brown skinned, dark skinned women will be like, "What you jealous of me for? You light skinned." I'm like, but when they look at you, they see a beautiful black woman. When they look at me, they see I don't know what she is. I'm a mutt. I'm a mongoloid. I've been called with mulatto. And I'm just like, what? So I think, judged people and put people in boxes. And it wasn't because I didn't intentionally do it, but with ignorance and me just feeling like less than. If I see somebody who's, walking more confidently than me, somebody who stands out, somebody who men find attractive. I'm light-skinned, but I'm not necessarily the type of light-skinned that men look at because I'm still fat. I'm light-skinned, but I'm still on another end. So that's two battles within one. So if I see a beautiful brown-skinned woman, before I started doing the self-work, it was a different experience. So if I saw a beautiful brown-skinned girl, I'm just like, she thinks she's so cute, and she is, and I'm mad about it. I'm mad about it. Not because I don't think I'm cute, but I'll never be cute like she is as a black woman.
Thank you so much for your honesty, Sam. I have had a lot of redemption in my life because a lot of my friends are lighter. And I didn't realize that until a few years ago. I was like, Jesus, he gave me all these light skin. But it's like, I think it was to heal me. They're beautiful women in and out. It's not about the skin and they just happen to be.
Right.
I have sisters.
Right.
I have all these amazing sisters, and they just happen to be lighter. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I think it was about healing me because they don't see my color in that way. Or they're brown, And one of the things I want to say is I know I've been used to help heal lighter women who have been hurt by darker skinned women. I've seen that happen in my life a few times where I could sense the trauma that they've been through. And I know that God is using me to befriend them, to be kind to them, to love on them. And then they open up about it. Because I'm healed from my trauma, thank God. But a lot of that's come through my sisters.
I can't say that I've projected my experiences on anyone else, but I have tanned several times. When it gets colder outside, my skin gets paler. And I've always felt like I want to be right now. I was looking in the mirror this morning like,
sugar cookie season. It's sugar cookie season, Nakia.
But yeah, I like a golden complexion. I like to go on vacation and come back because I've been in the sun, and I like the way it looks better. But I've never I've just always been a type of person that sees beauty in everything. Even if I don't think someone looks so pretty on the outside, I can find something within them that I think makes them even more beautiful, because anybody can have a pretty face or a handsome face, but it's all about what's inside that holds people's attention, that's charisma, that uniqueness that makes people fall in love with you or like you. So I just always kind of been like, it is what it is with my people, It is what it is.
I don't think I've ever treated anyone else differently. I think it was more so how I saw myself and how I would show up in a space. More so I would shrink back a little more or not wear, again, like these bright colors. I have a blue version of this jumpsuit. And sometimes, not jumpsuit, two-piece. Sometimes when I wear it, I'm like, okay, does this look like it's doing too much? Am I, being too bold? So I think it's more so about how I see myself versus how I kind of treat others. So that's my personal struggle. I'm sorry, Ari.
From the moment, another time, how you feel. You wake up and you feel like, I want to dress bright. I want my nails to be bright. That's how I feel. I wake up and I be like, okay, well, today I want to put on this, I want to do this. I think you just go off how you feel.
Yeah.
Don't worry about tune out the world.
Yeah.
And that's why I had to get to it myself.
It don't matter what you got on or what you wearing. It's going to be somebody.
Always.
In the world that's going to say, I don't like, a lot of people walk up to me, I don't like your lipstick, it don't fit you, I don't like the wigs you stuff. I don't like nothing. That's fine, but it wasn't for you to like. It was for me to wake up.
Exactly.
All right.
I'm popping.
Yeah. Again, because of what I endured when I was young, I never wanted anybody to feel less than or not equal or not feeling beautiful. Hence my podcast, Beauty. So there was a reason why I decided to take beauty, because I feel like there's beauty in everyone, So, that's just something that I stand on 10 toes down. So no.
Dang, I was the only bad guy. That was the unhealed version of myself, and that was That was some real honesty.
That's a transparent answer.
That was some real honesty. Like after I said it, I was like,
No, we need.
after I said it, I was like,
need
oh
all
shoot.
of the perspectives. That's why I asked this person up here because we don't want to be one-sided in any of our comments.
Don't y'all come for me in the comments either.
Oh, ain't no way.
I've been to therapy and I talked to Jesus. Don't come for me.
You made that clear too. You said the unhealed the before you start
you
self.
said that.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a process. We're
it
on a
is.
process. Even if I feel more healed in that area, I still have other work to do on me, which is why I wanted to do this conversation, because I still struggle with getting darker in the summer. I still avoid the sun. I still do these things.
Yeah.
We're not perfect. We're just evolving.
I guess I'm
Go ahead, girl.
I will say my mother would used to tell me that dark-skinned girls weren't going to like me. So she did already put that kind of fear in my head. Because you're so light-skinned, there's going to be dark-skinned women that don't like you just because. And I started to believe that until my best friend we found each other in 6th grade and we were thick as thieves. And instantly I realized that she was dead wrong. So again, going back to the generational, thinking, maybe my mother was told that, you know what I mean, or maybe grew up having to endure that. But I instantly found out that, a lot of the dark-skinned women that I had around me, they genuinely loved me and was cool with me, including my best friend of many, many years. So, yeah.
Right, so what did complexion have to do with your personality? But like with who you is. Because it's still outside and inside. Yeah, to me. Because you still have to get to know a person inside too.
You do.
Also, so you looking at the complexion outside really doesn't make you who you are. The inside to me is really make you who you are. And it comes as whole as the inside and outside put together. That's how I look at it.
Because you could be gorgeous with nothing going on.
Exactly.
Zero. And how long can you keep some attention?
Important.
How long can, on the surface, people can approach you. On the surface, people could, and I'm talking about any color, any color, on the surface. But, once you sit down and talk to that person, it can be like, she is a nitwit, or she has zero going, or he is all about himself, or he is selfish, or he, you know what I'm saying? So it's all about human beings are visual. So we know what we like when we see it, but you still have to dig further,
So we are going to hear from Ari, and then
Yes.
we are going to move into the next segment of Girl Talk.
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback on what Brittany said about how your mom has said, dark-skinned girls aren't going to like you. My mom never said that to me, but I had one bad experience with a light-skinned girl who bullied me in the 3rd grade, and from there on out, I always thought that light-skinned girls wouldn't like me. So I think that colorism was subjective per your region, because if you were in more suburban areas, like I was in Maple when it was still, and so Macedonia, Solon, just to be transparent, those light-skinned girls were awful to me. They did carry themselves like they thought they were better, and I watched a lot of the brown-skinned girls in those areas, like, what's your name again, darling, in the pink? Lisa. Shrink when we would come in, like, I would do the same thing. I would go to parties, like affluent parties, and I would shrink because I would be the darkest in the room, and I'm only brown skin, you know what I'm saying? Right. So yeah, that's just an experience.
Well, thank you guys so much for this time of transparency and community building. This is going to be a portion for you guys to connect one-on-one, individually, network, get some food from Wanda, drink some wine, take pictures, have music. We do have these conversation cards if you look on your seat. And that's an opportunity for you to network with someone, meet somebody in the room that you haven't spoken with, that you don't know. I know this is a particularly heavy discussion, so we definitely want you to just spend time processing and connecting with others, even our panelists, if there was something that resonated with you. But really, it's a chance to grow our connection, grow our community, and just grow and evolve together. So thank you guys. Go ahead.
One thing. I really, really liked this conversation. I really enjoyed it. It made me look at a lot of things in different aspects. And it's good motivation, because I really did think people really sit down. And we all black American. But I didn't really think that people really sit down and be like, okay, she is shade lighter. Oh, I never thought that. So it's really just racism like everywhere, all around. And I didn't even think that it was like that deep with Black American. I know that it was outside, but I didn't know that it was that deep with us.
Yeah.
No, seriously. Like just for hearing the conversation, the stories.
Pit us against each
It's
other.
really
Just another
It
way.
made me feel
Two more.
good.
Go ahead. No, we want
We want you to
we
talk.
want your input.
She just, struck a chord where it's like, because she said Black American, and I think we allow the American construct of race to hijack and put us even in this conversation, this problem. I tell my daughter all the time, and she's probably about Ariel's complexion. Continent of Africa is the most biodiverse continent on the planet. Well over 50 nations, so many like immeasurable amounts of groups and peoples. And even before we came over here and we were basically, getting this fight, we are from the most diverse place on the planet. And I let her kind of sit with that and not play this American race game. It's like they'll have us playing the game to their construct level where white supremacy is the ultimate goal. And I don't mean to make it about race because Bree's my homie. That's my sister.
Right. That's our sister too.
Okay.
That's our sister too.
And all these,
Right.
but quite honestly, our story in this country is so shrouded and cut up because of how it, kicked off.
Right.
And we are forever plagued with that issue. And we should do our best to reach back so that, ground zero is not American slavery.
Right. Amen.
And I think we are getting
Bring
back.
it back there. It's like, I know it was all the way back in slavery with the different, with whites, blacks, but it seemed like we going against each other.
Yeah, I know, but it's because of that. That's who started. So let us, since we were disconnected, we were disconnected, but we figured it out. We figured out where we come from.
Right.
Yeah. And me's and all that
Right,
stuff.
right.
So I say, the best way to not perpetuate it further is to not give it as much credence. That's just my opinion for it. Because,
Agreed.
I grew up where I started to go outside and realize it was a problem. Because my mother, I just told Bree, my mother looks so much like Nakia that I'm like, I want to give her a cotton swab or something. and a bunch of my aunties look just like her, but my father was browner than me, much browner than me. So my siblings, we were very much a spectrum. We just didn't do it. And then my mother, they were from Mississippi. My mother was from the town that Centers is based in. She was directly from there. And to be her complexion in that town really meant she caught the brunt of racism. So she almost detested whiteness because it was such a direct, experience. So I realized it when I got outside. And then my father, but my father's Nation of Islam, so he was really big on blackness. So I got outside, I'm like, why you don't fight? Why you don't calling people that? If that was the case, my sister, I got a sister who was really, really I would be making fun of her and stuff like that. Why would I do that? You know what I'm saying? And what I value from what my father brought to us with his religion, with his converted religion, was that they valued being the story before here. And I just think.
Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. To continue the conversation, join our Girl Talk community by following @GirlTalkCLE on Instagram and Facebook.com/HTOHB, where you can join the Girl Talk Facebook group. You can follow me personally on Instagram @HTOHB, on Facebook.com/HTOHB, and at YouTube.com/@HTOHB. Feel free to reach out via email info@indiemillerpublishing.com. If you're a writer who wants to take the next steps into becoming a published author, you can book a one-on-one consultation at indiemiller.pub. Just let me know you heard about my publishing house through Girl Talk, and I'll give you a 50% discount on our one-on-one. If you like weekly inspirational nuggets, you can subscribe to my blog and monthly newsletter at NicoleDMiller.com, where you can learn more about me and my writings. Till next time.